And now, we'd like to feature...
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on this special day, this special night. We are the Red Hot Underdogs. I am Anzac, and with me tonight, the man who needs no introduction. However, he's going to get one anyway, as he always does. The ever incredible, long contained, often imitated, but never, ever, ever duplicated. Please put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen, for the amazing Tszyu.
Hey, how you going, mate? And hello to everyone out there.
Hello to everyone.
And welcome to the podcast that never fails to disappoint. If you're going to be shit, you may as well wear it on your sleeve.
And you might as well wear it with a Star Wars beer coaster. You know why?
Even though it was May the 4th yesterday.
That's why. But
it's May the 4th.
Close enough to say Happy Star Wars Day, Drewy.
Yes. No, that's good. You're so predictable. I knew where you're coming from, but I still like it.
Sometimes it's a comfortable thing being predictable.
I love it, mate. Bargain basement, non-complication.
Yep.
You know where you are, you know where you stand.
That's right.
And at the end of the day, it makes life a hell of a lot easier.
I'll tell you what's not predictable is bloody rugby league, you know?
Oh,
who would have...
I think we should, yeah.
Can we just go straight into it? I know you like the term muff dive, but I just think we need to talk about that Manly game.
Yeah.
20 points up.
Oh,
what was it? 30 minutes in, 20 points up, something like that, right?
Yeah, 20 points to 6.
20 points
in going into the first half, but we were 20-0 up. You're right.
And the better team, let's be honest, the better team. Who'd have thought would lose by fucking 2 points to a bunch of fucking idiots that can't string shit together? How the fuck does that happen?
I'll tell you,
fuck it up. It's fucking Manly. At a fucking home game, there was a few, like Raiders got a few lucky tries, let's be honest, and their first one was a drop ball they shouldn't have got, and Manly fucking didn't convert shit. Okay, what was it? 3 out of 5 we missed or something? I can't.
We only got 2 out of 5. 3 out of 5 we missed. Listen, going into this game, I was kind of very nervous because Manly have an absolutely appalling record in wet weather.
Yeah,
we have a less than 50% winning percentage in wet weather.
Why?
In wet weather, I don't know, but when it comes to wet weather, it reminds me of when I was in my early to mid-20s, when I'd go to a bar, try and pick up chicks, and I'd have my shirt tucked into my jeans with a Harley-Davidson belt buckle. And I'd look in the mirror and wonder why I had such a low percentage pickup game. Same with Manly, with the wet weather.
Yeah.
Bloody terrible, mate. Absolutely terrible. And I've got to say,
Manly's got to look in the mirror, and the 20-year-old you has to look in the mirror and untuck your fucking shirt.
Well, yeah, I learnt several decades ago. But listen, the thing is, I've got to be honest, even at 24-6 up, I was still nervous.
Yeah.
When it got to 24-12, I'm like, I've seen this movie before.
Yeah.
When it got to 20-18, I'm not kidding. When it got to 24-18, I'm like, we're done. I've seen this before. Manly does it. It's a growing concern. We've had 3 games this season. We led the Warriors by 16. We led Parramatta by 14, and we led Canberra by 20. What's the common theme? We won none of those games.
We fucking lost, you know?
I know.
Shit. And look, like, Lady Luck was against us and stuff, like, but, you know, you create your own luck, you know? Like, Manly played well. A few Canberra players played very well, and there were some good tries in it too. Canberra got, to be honest.
It's just frustrating. Like, at the end of the day, Manly has sabotaged more of the leads than the KGB and the FBI. We just let leads just slip at our feet. But you know what? I've got to give credit to Canberra. They came back. They did what they had to do. I can't all be like, oh, it was Manly crap. But Manly were woeful. But even when we're playing bad, you've got to have the skill to win, and that's what they did.
Yep.
I think more than anything, I just hate losing to a fan base that have that stupid bloody Viking clap.
Oh.
I mean, down in Canberra, it's like a stadium full of 30,000 retards doing a really uncoordinated version of if you're happy and you know it.
The retards in Canberra, it's like fucking there's 500,000 of the cunts, you know?
Yeah, but in the stadium.
In the stadium. Outside the stadium, they're all fucking retards too.
Yeah, but in the stadium, it's like 30,000 tards all doing a horrendous version of if you're happy and you know it, clap your hands.
Clap your fucking hands.
In a very uncoordinated fashion.
Move along from that fucking stupid fucking clap.
Yeah. It's not even theirs either. They copied it off the Iceland football.
That's right.
Team.
That's right.
Yep. It's like a comedian getting laughs and it was somebody else's bit, but he passes it off as his own.
I got to hit though that one guy that scored that easy gimme try for Canberra. I forgot his name. His with
Elliot Whitehead. I think it was Elliot Whitehead.
Yep.
He ran and
Now you got to admit, he looks like a Viking, and he plays for the Raiders. And does anybody ever say that? Like that? This guy
I suppose they do.
Suits Canberra Raiders. He suits it. Like, does he look like a Viking because he plays for the Raiders, or like because he's like, oh, now I've got to fucking grow my beard and fucking look like a Viking, or
no?
It just kind of just happened. If he was playing for
the just his,
he'd look like
that's his vibe. That's the way he rolls.
Yeah,
that's how he hangs. That's how he does shit.
Yeah.
That's Elliot Whitehead, but he's a good player.
Great player.
They won. Congratulations, Manly. Please learn from this. Please learn from this. And just one other thing I don't like about Canberra, that stupid horn they blow at their own stadium. Like,
off your fucking horn.
They're pushing a button and it makes a sound.
Yeah.
The person who's pretending to blow into it, honestly, they need to stop at a marathon drink station to get to their mailbox, half of them.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't want to rubbish Canberra supporters too much. You won. Congratulations.
You should.
Guess what? I'm even wearing their colours. I'm even wearing their colours. Well done.
Actually, you're not. That looks more like poo brown than green.
Or khaki. Or as the Americans would say, khaki.
That's not fucking Canberra green.
I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm just colourblind.
Yeah.
And then the other thing during the week, I'm going to take a massive credit for this one.
Oh, yep. Yep.
Last episode. Yep. You know exactly what I'm going to say.
Yep.
At 10 minutes and 5 seconds of the last episode.
Wow, geez, you watched it to like hit that timer on it. Jesus, well done.
Mate,
what happened?
Your boy is doing his research.
Verbatim, what did you say? Verbatim.
I basically said it. I can't say verbatim at that point in time. But what I did say at that point in the podcast was Jason Demetrio will not be there to play against the Panthers next week. He's going to get sacked. He won't make the next round.
I said big call, and you said it is a big call, something like that.
I even said I'm going to hang my balls on the line with this prediction.
And you did.
They were my words.
Yep.
And I did. And strangely enough, on Tuesday, there was that board meeting.
And he's gone.
So, he's gone. I don't like seeing people lose their jobs.
Again. So, great news.
Bunny's got what?
Pumped again.
Yeah, I want to see them win one or two. I'm not a total narc. I don't like seeing people lose all the time. I do have a bit of a heart. But listen, out of 20 games, Demetrio's past 20 games, he'd only won 5 and he had lost 15.
Off
And
a star-studded team.
off a star-studded team. And the writing was on the wall with the Storm. And this is what I thought, because the Storm scored 50 against them.
Yeah.
Outside of that game where the Storm scored 50 against them, the Storm's biggest winning margin this year has been 8 points.
Yeah. Yeah. Amazing. Yeah.
So for as good as the Storm are, they've only been winning games by a little bit, but they've been winning because they're such a good side.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, you're right. With the caliber of player that the Souths have, they expect Da Vinci results. But unfortunately, Jason Demetrio gave them a massive big finger painting. So,
Yeah.
and they're going after Wayne Bennett for next year.
Yep. And who
At
did
the-
they have now? Was Meninga
They're
talk?
going. No, not Meninga. So for an interim coach, they're going for former St George player, Ben Hornby.
Oh, yep.
Will be, yeah. So everyone's going to be throwing their support behind him, all the South players. So I'm sure that all the South supporters are going to be having plenty of signs saying "honk if you're Hornby."
Yeah.
And just see how they go under Ben
Not too much
Hornby.
hockey going to happen, you know?
No, probably not too much. But Wayne Bennett, like,
They're not that
Jesus,
Hornby down there.
he's as old as Noah's Ark, Wayne Bennett. Isn't it amazing that, like, a certified grandpa can keep getting employed?
And not just he's old as fuck, but he
Yeah.
looks even like older than he is. I don't know how old,
Yes.
but you know, some people
He's-
that are old and they
yeah.
don't look old, but he is, and he fucking looks
Yes.
every fucking day over fucking
Mm.
110,
He's 74.
74.
But I think he looks
under
I think
104.
I would say he looks about 83.
Yeah.
But that might be being kind.
That's on a good day, seriously.
He actually looks a bit like Monty Burns from The Simpsons a little bit.
No, Monty
but,
Burns looks much younger than fucking Wayne
yeah,
Bennett.
he probably did.
Yeah.
But you know, he's got a good past record against behind him. I mean, he's actually been coaching for 37 years.
Oh, he's got a great record. Like,
yeah,
you can't take that away from him. Like, he's done amazing, you know, like
he's coached 7 NRL teams and he's won 7 grand finals.
Not with all the teams, though.
Not with all the teams, no, but he's won 7 grand finals. He's been in 10. So that's a pretty good strike rate.
Yep.
And
I like him at the Dolphins, though. I think that's really exciting because
yeah, it's a good fit, but his contract runs out at the end of this year.
Yeah. Okay. And he's
but you know, we'll see how he goes.
They want him back. They want him back.
And I think he'll draw a tough line at South. I reckon he'll be good for the club. Like, I think if you're late to training and you're a player, he'll probably, you know, pull out a bit of the old Clint Eastwood and go, I want 9,000 push-ups or get off my lawn.
Yeah.
You know, I reckon he's going to draw a hard line there with them. And as for Demetrio, well, I guess we just wish him the best for his future because he's now unemployed. I don't want bad for him.
Oh, I don't care. Hey, I actually, after the Manly game, I was a bit pissed off, but I managed to turn on the first AFL game I've watched this year, which is a little bit embarrassing.
Yes.
I don't know. Have you watched a lot of Aussie Rules?
I've watched a fair bit, yeah.
And I should have watched more, but you know, I got every excuse under the sun. I love Aussie Rules, and whenever I turn it on, Aussie Rules, I watch it. The first thing I think is, holy fuck, this really is a great game. You know?
I love it.
Great.
Yep.
The play,
when it gets that flow on, mark after mark after kick, and there's a real skill.
It's a sensational game. I love it. Like the fact that nobody else plays it in the world. I love it that it's Australia's game. I love it that you know, you just have two rival teams like Collingwood and Carlton, and they have fucking 100,000. I know it's a bit less, 90 or 80, 89, or, you know, but they have huge fucking crowds week in, week out. And that comes down to the fact it's a fucking awesome game. It is. I prefer rugby league. I do prefer
me
rugby
too.
league, but
Yeah.
you cannot take away that when I first moved to Wodonga and I never seen Aussie rules. And I remember someone saying to me, it won't be long before you like Aussie rules. And I was like, no, I'm not going to get into this garbage. It's fucking, you know, seagulls fighting over a fucking chip packet, which is, you know, very, very a good analogy or a comparison to Aussie rules when it's scrappy, but when it's good, it's fucking awesome. Okay, moving on from there.
No, it is good. It is good.
Game. It's a great game.
I love it. And what's even better now?
Yep.
My team, the Sydney Swans, are on top of the table.
Are they? They're above Geelong now.
Yes, because Geelong lost to Melbourne 74-66.
Wow.
And Sydney beat the GWS.
Yep.
So 98
third. No. Yeah, GWS.
Yeah, GWS is third.
Yep. Wow.
So Sydney beat GWS 98-69. So now they move ahead on percentage, and they're on top of the table. The only bad part about being a Swans supporter, unfortunately, if I'm at a bar and I'm meeting new people and they're all AFL supporters, and you're at a table and you go, who do you go for? Who do you go for? And one guy will go, oh, the Hawks, the Demons, the Lions, the Bombers. What do I say?
Hot pie.
I go for the Swans. I'm a Swannies supporter. It's the most unintimidating mascot of any of them. It is terrible.
That's ever existed in the history of mascots.
But that's okay. As a Swans supporter, being at the top of the table, I'm going to do my rainbow-coloured stride of pride.
Yeah.
We're at the top. Go the Swannies. Go the Swannies. Oh, God.
No, fuck them. I want fucking Pies to win it again.
And, you know,
and I finished what I was saying about the Pies. I was saying that disappointed about Manly, turned the Pies on, spoke to my mate Grovesy, big Aussie rules fan, and it was fucking, remember we talked about this, they tied last week, Collingwood.
Yes.
And they were tied up to the last couple of minutes. Can you believe it? Again.
Ooh.
And we said last week how rare it is to have a tie in Aussie rules. It's as rare as fucking hen's teeth, but we should say it's as rare as fucking swan's teeth, you know, even
yeah, that's true.
Teeth. And and they almost had it again. And, you know, the thing is with Aussie rules, they only had a couple of minutes to go. So all they needed was behind, like 1 point, which is relatively pretty easy to get because, you know, it's fucking, you know, meters and meters just to get 1 point, you know.
Yeah, big area.
And with 2 minutes to go, Pies scored an amazing goal to win by 6 points. And I tell you, fucking game. What a fucking team. And, you know, the good old Collingwood Forever came out. It's just fucking, it's good to be a
I do love that one. It is a good song. It is a good song.
It's a great song. Yep. It's a great
both our sides had wins, which is good.
Yeah.
Love it. So that's really good.
I think we should talk about Aussie rules a bit more.
Look, and the poor old Kangaroos still haven't won a game. So come on, Kangaroos, let's do it. And I just think that it doesn't get enough conversation here in New South Wales, obviously, because it's not so huge. It seems to only be big in New South Wales when the Swans are doing well, but I've followed them. I used to go to games when I was 10 years old.
How did you, I got into Aussie rules because I moved to Victoria. Why did you get into Aussie rules, or how?
Well, actually, my dad used to take me to games at the SCG.
Ah, okay, yep. When you were
So,
young,
yeah, it was simple as that. No great science or story
he likes
behind it.
Swannies.
Yeah.
I know he's a
And
bit Manly though. So did he like Manly and Swannies?
yes. So it's funny you mention that. Growing up,
Mm.
he was actually a Collingwood supporter like
Yeah, wow.
yourself.
Oh, well,
But when he moved to Sydney
yeah,
and had 3 sons
yep,
and lived in Sydney and could go to a game,
yep,
he switched to the Sydney Swans.
yep.
And of course, I never knew anything different from the Sydney Swans, but as a rule, I've always gone for the side closest to my geographical area through which I live. So obviously, I live in Manly Vale. I go for the Sea Eagles.
Yeah.
I live in Sydney. You go for the
Well, you're
Swans, so on and
also
so forth.
because your dad went for Manly too. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. But
In all honesty, if I go for, we're Manly area, but I go for Manly because Dad went for Manly, and
yeah,
and that probably, would have been different if he was like a big bloody Brisbane supporter or something,
yeah,
And I've got that with JJ, the 5-year-old. It's very important to me that he goes for Manly. Very important.
yes. Oh, very important. You'd die 1,000 deaths.
Yeah.
If
I don't want Rooters.
if he turned around and I go for the Dragons or the Eels, you'd be like, what is going
I mean,
on?
if there was a good reason, like he was best mates with someone that played for them or worked for them, sure. But you want to start them off at the right foot and go for a good team. Manly.
Correct.
You want to, fast,
That's true.
high as it can be, as good as it can be.
Yeah. So then the AFL competition is quite close as well, which is good.
Yeah.
But one thing I've noticed about the NRL though is that there've been a number of close games.
Yeah.
Like the blowouts are getting less and less, which is good. There are actually 3 games
too. There are lots of upsets.
Yeah. Oh, and you know what? The Titans almost won.
Yeah.
They lost 22-20 against the Storm.
They really could have won.
Oh, so close.
Yeah.
It sounds really odd to say that a team with only 1 victory this year is looking promising.
Yeah.
But they actually are.
Yeah.
Which is very odd. And the Dolphins, who Manly play next week, they won 28-26 over the Cowboys.
Yeah.
And the Dolphins are the surprise packet this year because a lot of people thought they might get like second year syndrome where they just take a massive nosedive, but they're in 4th.
Yeah. They're smashing.
So, and the one side that
from 5th to 4th. Manly's gone down.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Manly's gone down one. And the one side that is starting to make waves and put it all together, as much as I hate to say it because I don't like the side, are the Roosters.
Yeah.
And they've moved up to 6, and they've had 2 good wins in a row, and they've beaten the Broncos, and there's nothing more intimidating than a cock on the rise. So watch out for the Roosters.
Watch out for them.
They're coming to get people, and they've got a good side to do it. I don't like the Roosters, but hey, what do you do?
What about Origin? That's got to be on the horizon, yeah. I've seen a little bit of talk about it.
Yeah, the Origin will be interesting this year. And I'll before I get to Origin and we talk about Origin, one team I haven't mentioned a lot, which deserves a huge shout out, are the Sharks. They're on top of the table. I mean, you kind of forget about the Sharks.
Yeah, we forget about them. They're top of the table, but I didn't want to talk about them. They're forgotten.
No. It's like saying, what's your favourite colour? And someone says grey.
No.
But, you know what I mean? The Origin should be interesting.
I don't think Sharks will win it this year. I just think...
No. The Sharks is an interesting one because whenever they get to the semi-finals in recent times,
They flop.
They lose.
Yeah.
I think they've won like something like one out of their last 5 semi-finals.
Right. That's good news.
So
That's good stats.
that's like, and that's the problem for the Shark supporters, as well as they're doing, and I give them full credit, all credit in the world. They're going awesome. But they'd still be nervous for the semi-finals.
Yep. They're gonna they're gonna flop, they're gonna choke.
That's the real test for them. I think anything less than winning at least one game in the semi-finals for them this year is a massive failure. But they'll want to get to the preliminary final. They're playing too well and got too good a side, but again, they kind of stuff it up. It's a bit like Greg Norman in the golf. He was the great white shark, and yet he always was renowned for choking.
Choking at
so
the end. Yeah.
If you're going to be a team or an individual, probably don't go by the nickname of the shark.
Sharks.
Or the great white shark, or anything related to sharks.
Yeah, they jinxed. Go for a swan. That's much more scary.
Yeah.
Dark.
But I've got to say, I'm nervous for the Origin. I do think Queensland will win it.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. They just seem to win it each time. And the one thing I hate about it, every single year, commentators, analysts say, there's nothing like the Queensland spirit. Well, I'm sorry, it's a myth. I don't believe it. New South Wales go out to win. It's like not like New South Wales don't go out to win. Just Queensland managed to win. They haven't got some special magical spirit filled with gold dust. It is just the way it is.
But see
what happens.
I even really hope that there's no injuries for Manly. Of course, Trbojevic is going to play, probably both of them, not all three, but, and Cherry Evans is going to captain it. And I just don't want injuries to Manly. I think it happened last year or the year before. We got an injury on Tom from Origin.
Well, Tom was last year in the first 10 minutes of the first game.
That's right. And it's just bullshit. I'm all about Manly, not about Origin. I mean, Origin's great, but
it's okay. But
Manly to play. I don't want Manly to play and get hurt.
I'm with you because at the end of the day, you can win or lose Origin, whatever. It's exciting to watch. I get it. But guess what? At the end of the year, every single supporter of every single side wants their team to make the semi-finals and ultimately the grand final if you can. But first port of call is the semi-finals. Just get there by any means necessary. And it certainly doesn't help having your players in the firing line of Origin.
Or injured, And it's not like Manly has, it's not like the Roosters and the Storm where they've got, an abundance of these A-class players. We've got 3 or 4 of them. Do you know what I mean? So if they get injured, if Trbojevic or Cherry gets injured, the wheels can fall off.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think we're potentially going to we're going to at least have 2 in there in Tom Trbojevic and Cherry Evans. They're certainties.
Yeah.
A third one may be Jake Trbojevic because he's played before.
Yeah.
So he's less of a chance, but still a chance. I hope at maximum it's 3. I would say if we were to have a 4th, it might be someone like Ola Kawatu.
Yeah.
But I'm just hoping that it's only 2 and maximum 3.
Yeah.
Because, I'm with you. I never understood it when supporters of teams go, oh, we've got 5 in Origin, and they sound excited. No, you don't want your players in Origin. You want to win the bloody grand final.
This is actually why I go for Queensland. It was being pissed off with the whole Origin thing because they took out Manly players, and I care about Manly, and I just didn't care about New South Wales, and I just didn't care about Queensland. And I'm like, why is this happening? Why are these good Manly players playing for New South Wales when I just don't give a shit about it? I care about Manly, not fucking New South Wales. I never have. you know.
I know. You are my certified enemy number one.
Mm.
Like, because you're a New South Welshman and you go for Queensland, but
Yeah.
you're not the only enemy. I know a lot of people who are from New South Wales and
Yeah.
go for Queensland. I
Yeah.
do not get it. I don't understand it.
Yeah.
But everyone's got their own reasons.
And I think
It is
too,
what
like
it is.
when I was a kid, like we'd
Mm.
always, you know, my mum's a Queenslander, right? But
Yeah.
we always went to Queensland every holidays, every Christmas. Like we're always Queensland, 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 Queensland. It was in my mind as a little kid.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
and the other thing too is I remember watching Origin and getting confused because I thought Manly was Queensland. Like the colours, I know they're different.
But they're maroon and white. Yeah.
Yeah, but
So I get it.
hey, do you know what they call maroon in England?
Maroon?
Maroon. I
Yeah.
found that out the other day. They call it fucking maroon, like that
They
band.
call it the same
Maroon
thing in
5.
America too. In America they say maroon as well.
Fucking stupid way to say maroon. Seriously.
Yeah, I know.
Fucking
I
stupid.
know. I know.
This bloke I work
Well,
with, Sean, he says maroon, you say maroon. Anyway, moving on from there. So,
yeah.
and I remember I didn't give a shit about Origin for ages. And I saw an article in the newspaper. And this was
Yeah.
only like 15 years ago or so. So not too long ago. Newspaper, there you go. Before fucking phones and shit. Remember
Yeah.
newspapers, you know, you used to get
Yeah,
them.
I remember them back in the day. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
still know how to use one.
yeah, so and it said in there that Queensland has won for almost half a decade. And we'd won, or they had won, we had won, whatever, 3 years in a row. And it said, oh, Queensland dominating for almost half a decade. And I thought, God, that's instead of just saying for the last 3 years, they said
I know.
for almost half a decade. And I thought, wow, that's really fluffing it up, isn't it? Fluffing it up.
Yeah, it was.
Years
But then
after-
they extended it and extended it. And
Well,
just,
they said it, but at that moment, I just thought, fuck, I want to go for Queensland and just see how many they can get. And then they got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that's where I kind of became a Queensland fan and just thought, you know, fuck this joke. I go for Manly and I go for Queensland. That's it.
Yeah, of course you did. You did it with all the rest of the other New South Welshmen who are actually fake people. You jump on some big winning bandwagon.
That's when I jumped on. You know, after they'd won it for the first 3 times. I didn't support them much, really. You know, in the third.
Oh, you didn't support them at all. You didn't.
Well,
support
yeah, I didn't
New
like
South
Origin. I
Wales.
was like, fuck this. I remember at uni, I went to a mate's place and he wrote, if you're a Blues supporter, you can't come in. And I go, you know what? I'm a fucking Manly supporter. Don't give a shit about the Blues. Don't give a shit about Queensland. But came in to watch some good rugby league. And this is years later. I fucking decided.
Yeah.
Cheers.
And then you jumped on the bandwagon with a whole heap of other.
Jumped onto the bandwagon. Go Queensland. Hope they just keep winning it. Well,
with a whole heap of other New South Wales Einsteins that decide to jump on a winning team because they're not true loyal people.
Yeah.
They go for some
I'm loyal
weird
to Manly.
backward state.
I'm loyal to the Pies. Your dad wasn't loyal to the Pies. If I moved to fucking somewhere, I wouldn't change being a Pie supporter. I can tell you that. Hot Pies.
Yeah, but he was a bit of a goose too in hindsight. Like, you don't even live near Collingwood. Why would he go for Collingwood? Like, I'd put him in the same low-hanging fruit category as what you hold right now.
Did you find out why he went for Collingwood?
No, I didn't ask because I was just too ashamed.
Oh, okay.
Why weren't you wearing the red and white from the start? I don't want to hear your explanation. I don't want to know about your explanation. It's like a wife walking in on their husband doing the pogo dance on another woman and then she goes, and then the person caught goes, oh, wait, I can explain.
Yeah.
Like, no, I don't want to hear your explanation. I've seen it. I'm shattered. And I don't need another explanation.
Drewy, moving on. We've got 4 minutes.
Okay.
Done Rugby League. We've done Aussie rules. We've done State of Origin. Welcome to State of Origin. It's in the mix. I sent you something about that boxing match. Did you watch that? Was that a big one?
Yeah, Canelo Alvarez today retained his belts.
Yep.
He's a Mexican legend.
Yep.
He's
33.
face of boxing.
Yep.
61 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws, 39 KOs.
Huge numbers. Huge.
Pretty big numbers. Beat Jaime Munguia, who was previously undefeated, who was 43-0.
That's huge.
Heading into the fight with 1 loss and 34 KOs.
Yeah, huge.
Now, Canelo Alvarez, massive resume. Got all sorts of people on the resume. Only lost to the best, which are people like Dimitri Bivol and none other than Floyd Money Mayweather, who needs absolutely no introduction.
Yeah.
However, here's my problem with Canelo.
Yeah.
I give him massive props for his Hall of Fame career.
He's a ranger.
He should have fought David Benavidez, who is 6'1" tall, 28 wins, no losses, and 24 KOs. He was his mandatory for 16 months. Tried getting all kinds of fights with Canelo. Canelo will fight anyone. Didn't want a bar of Mr. Benavidez.
Wow.
So Benavidez moved up a division.
Yeah, wow.
And then they said, how can we make you fight Benavidez? What was Canelo's response? $200 million.
Oh.
Mate, who's going to pay you $200 million? We don't care if you lose to this guy. He's a legitimate threat. If you win, you come out the ultimate hero and your resume and legacy is even better. If you lose to him, people go, well, who cares? We've still got mad respect for you because you're fighting a huge name.
Yeah.
And we still love you, but nothing worse than a ducker.
So he ducked the best option and took someone that wasn't as good and won.
Yes.
Maybe he's 33, right? So he's I mean, that's
and it's an old 33 because he started his pro career at 15.
Yeah. Well, 33 at any sport's old. Yeah. But at boxing, it's really old. Yeah.
Okay. And I can understand people going, he's an old 33 because he started pro ranks at 15. My only argument to that is, and people go, so should he need to fight the best? Should he put his health in danger? My argument to that is, if you don't want to, okay, but don't hold world title belts. Because Benavidez is like, well, guess what? I want those belts. And I'm younger than you and I'm hungry and I'm stronger and not necessarily better. But at this point, a lot of people would favour Benavidez. And I'm not even saying Benavidez is the better fighter, but at this stage, he's probably the favourite. And I'm not even saying he'd have the better career. But if you hold the belts like Canelo, you should have a responsibility to fight the best. That's all I'm saying.
So we've got less than a minute. What's the next boxing fight to look out for?
Obviously, May 19th, Fury versus Usyk for the world heavyweight title. Absolutely all. May 19th for all of the belts.
Can we watch that in the grotto here?
Yeah, winner takes all. And don't forget the undercard. The fight just before it, Australia's Jai Opetaia fighting for the world cruiserweight title.
Yeah, we need